Welcome back, everyone, and this is I think the third video of the in the playlist of linked list tutorial slash discussion. And right now I'm showing you the sample output of a code that I made in Mobile C. It's a code in it shows a simple code in linked list. So sorry. So basically the output is just showing the dog's name and then the dog's color and then the dog's gender, which is M. Okay, so or male. So the dog's color is white and the dog's name is dog1. So I'm just using a numerical a numerical way of naming the dog so that we can keep track of how many dogs we are actually been creating. So let me show you the code, the simple code for this linked list. Actually, this is not yet a linked list because I'm just showing you one list. Okay, so let me show you how it's done. All right, so first of all, in this main procedure, I have created a structure, and a struct is actually it's actually a type of data structure that has a different names or variable names, group of variables that are inside the struct. So it's like I'm sorry, it's not it's a data type. Okay, it's like you're creating a data type. So this is the code for a simple linked list, and in the main procedure I have struct here, which is actually a data type. You're creating a data type whenever you're using the struct keyword here. So you're creating your own data type with a group of variables inside that data type. So so what I'm trying to show you here is I am creating a linked list using struct, and I'm basically I'm basically creating my own data type. So inside the struct, I named the struct as dog, and if you notice, it's like you're creating a class. So a struct and a class, they're pretty much the same, except that struct uses the arrow operator, which is I'm going to show you later. And so inside the struct dog that I have created, I have several variables inside. I have a variable name, color, gender, and a pointer. And as you can see, color, I use a string data type, and also for name. And gender, I used a character data type. And the good thing about struct data type is that in line number 12, as you can see, I am using already the dog struct, even if I'm still on the process of creating the struct. So you can use, and what I'm trying to say is you can use the dog struct inside the struct itself. Okay, so don't forget the semicolon here whenever you're done creating or defining your struct. And so what I'm showing you here in line number 15 is I'm defining another pointer, and the data type is dog, the one that we created here, starting at line number 7 until line number 13. And in line number 15, I'm creating a new pointer, and the data type would be dog. And then that pointer would be initially set to null, meaning it doesn't have any values at this moment. Okay, and at line number 18, I have created another pointer, and I named that my dog. So it's going to be like an instance of our dog struct. And another one is another pointer, which is I named that as the dog pointer. So this pointer over here at line number 19, it will serve as the pointer to the next dog that we are going to create. Okay, so at line number 21, we are actually creating an instance of the dog data type, and we named that as dog. So this is a pointer, but we have created an instance of of the dog structure of the dog struct. And as you can see at beginning at line number 22, I'm using the arrow operator. It's basically when you're using a class, the equivalent of the arrow operator would be a period or a dot in classes. So an arrow operator, just like a dot operator in classes, it symbolizes that this one is a member of the data type that we created a while ago. So name is actually a member of the dog struct that we created a while ago. Okay, and so we are putting a value of name, which is dog1, in the name member of my dog, which is an instance of the struct dog. And we put at line number 23, we put white as the value of color and M as the value of gender. Gender is a character data type, so we can only put one character. And at line number 25, if you notice, next is, if we go back, let's go back to line number 7 here up to line number 12. So if you notice, next here at line number 12 is a pointer. Okay, it should contain an address, just like with line number 15. Okay, line number 15 is also a pointer. So let's go back to line number 25. Now next here, which is a pointer, we initially put a null value again. Okay, it's because we are not yet putting a second list. Okay, so since we are not creating a second list, and we are right now on the process of creating the first list, then the next list should be naturally null. Okay, so after we have put all the values in the members of this instance of dog, which we call my dog, after we have put all the values, then all these members which belongs to my dog, okay, we are going to assign all the values of my dog in head pointer. Okay, and so what we do here is we are going to display the values of my dog. Okay, so that is why the members of my dog, whatever the contents of my dog is, or whatever the contents of my dog are, then it will be transferred, or it will be copied to head pointer. So all the members that belongs to my dog will be contained as well in head. So head is equal to my dog. Well, actually, you can replace this my dog with head, since this we're dealing with the list head, and it should produce the same output. So if we run this, we should not encounter any error, and we still get the same output. Okay, now what we did was we simply displayed the list head. What if I want to add another list? Okay, so we should have another list here. Let's add another dog. Okay, so the second step would be basically the same, just like what we did with the head, with the list head. So this is the list head. Let me put a comment here. So this is the list head, and let's put another one. Let's put another list, sorry. So this would be the second list. Okay, so let me just copy this. All right. So you can put another instance. You can just use the in line number 28. You can still use the name my dog as another instance of the dog struct. That's pretty much okay. That's completely fine. And what we're going to do is just to change the values. So let's make this dog2. Okay, let's change the color. Let's make it black, for example. And let's change the gender. So we are going to make this, let's make it F. which stands for female. Okay, now what we are going to do here is remember that at line number 19 here, okay, at line number 19 here, we have declared a pointer called dog pointer, which has, of course, a data type of dog. And what we are going to do here is after line number 32 in the second list, okay, we are going to add another code here. So it would be dog pointer, okay, would be equal to head. Okay, and we are going to replace this with dog pointer, and then we access next, and then we put there the current value of my dog. Okay, so let me explain what happened here. Okay, so the reason why I put head in line number 32, the reason why I put head in dog pointer is that so that we can access the next operator. Okay, remember in this first code here at the list head, the next member of my dog is null because we didn't have yet the second list. But this time, okay, in the second list, we are still putting null at the next member of my dog because the third list is not yet existent. But the reason why we put the code here is because we are trying to put this whole list over here. Sorry, we are trying to put everything here, all the code here in the second list. We're trying to put all the code here in the next member. Okay, so we are trying to put all the codes here beginning at line number 28 up to line number 32. We are trying to put all the values of the second list into the next member. Okay, and this next member here in line number 25 is actually equal to this one, because this next here is actually a member of head if we go back to the code of list head. Okay, I hope it's clear. And so this display is not going to work anymore. Okay, it's not going to work anymore. We have to create a while loop. Okay, but before that, let me create another third list so that we can exploit the while loop later. So let me create my third dog, or the third list. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this. Maybe I'm just going to copy all of this and put it here. All right. So next is I'm going to name this dog3, and I'm going to name this color, let's say brown, and let's make this male again. Okay, so since this is third list, again for line number 40, the next member of the third list should be null because we have not created yet the fourth list. So this should be null, or it should be empty. And line number 41 is not head anymore. Okay, since we are not dealing with the second list, this should appear in the second list. Okay, now since we are in the third list, we need to refer to dog pointer as the second list. Okay, so what was the previous value of dog pointer? Remember that the previous value of dog pointer in the second list was head, and then the value of this one becomes the value of dog pointer here is head, and then we access the next member. This next member belongs to head here. Okay, and so in the third list, we are not going to use head anymore, but instead we are going to refer to whatever the last code in to whatever the last code is. Okay, so dog pointer arrow next. So we replace head here. We are going to replace that with dog pointer and then arrow next. Okay, so if I'm going to illustrate it later, I'm going to make a logical representation. So this one over here, okay, this one over here is actually equal to this one, to that one. Okay, so if I'm going to illustrate it to make it for you to visualize, okay, so let's say that I have here the first list. This is going to be the list head. Sorry, this is going to be the list head. Okay, so this is the list head over here, and the list head contains the name of dog1 and several of its members. So we have white and we have male gender. Okay, now this one, the address of this one belongs to head. Okay, now let's go to the second list. Okay, so this will be the second list. All right, and of course the members, the data members of this list is dog2. Okay, if you are I would suggest that you enable the full screen of your video so that you can see what I'm drawing here. Okay, so dog2 and several members or several values. We have black and the gender would be F. Okay, and okay, and over here is let's access the third list. By the way, this is head. The address of this one is head, and the address of this one, okay, the address would always be somewhere. Okay, in the list head, the address would be line number 26. That's head, and in the second list, the address would be the last code, which is dog pointer next. Or since at line number 33, dog pointer is equal to head. Okay, dog pointer next, that's the address. Okay, or you can also see this as head arrow next, since at line number 33, okay, dog pointer is equal to head. Now on the third list, let's create the third list here. So this is the third, sorry, this is the third one, and the contents of the third list would be the name is dog3. Okay, several values. The color is brown, and the gender is male. Now, what would be the address of this one, of the third list? The address of this would be, okay, it's going to be too long, but the address of this would be dog pointer next. Okay, sorry, dog pointer next, and then sorry, it's let me erase that, sorry. Okay, I told you it's going to be a long address. Okay, so the address of that one would be dog pointer arrow next, and then arrow next. Okay, why? Because at line number 41 here, dog pointer is equal to dog pointer arrow next. Okay, and so you put the next member here. This next here is actually the member of this whole thing over here. Okay, so let me go back to my note here. So if you imagine, okay, if you imagine this one over here, oh sorry, let me just change the color. Okay, this one over here is actually the same as this one. Okay, so you are linking all the list. Okay, you are linking all the list, and this one over here, let me change the color again, and this one over here, dog pointer here, is actually this one. Okay, so you're linking. And alternatively, if you want to have the address of this one, it with respect to the list head, okay, the full address of this one would be head, arrow, dog pointer, arrow next. It's going to be very long, so on and so forth. Okay, until you reach this next over here. Okay, so I hope it's clear. Now we can't really display the sorry about that. You can't really display the three lists over here in my code using this one. Okay, so we need to change the code here. We need to change the code, and we are going to use the loop. We're going to use a loop, a while loop. Okay, a while loop is probably the best loop that we can use, right? And why are we using a loop? Because we want to get through all of these lists, all of these three lists. Okay, we want to get all of these three dogs. So if I'm going to modify this code here. Okay, so I'm going to make while loop. So while, let me first declare another counter. Okay, so I'm going to have another pointer here. I'm going to name that as display pointer. Now this pointer is going to be responsible for keeping track of which list we are going to display at a certain time. Okay, so dog pointer and then display pointer. Let me give an initial value here. Dog pointer would be equal to head. Okay, so what we are trying to do is we need to display the first list, or the list head. Okay, so let me give code here. So while display pointer, meaning it means that we are testing if this pointer has content. Okay, if it doesn't have any content, if it's null, then the loop will stop. Okay, so I am really OZ with the code, so let me just put a tab there. So we are going to display the values, but initially, okay, let me change this one so it's not head anymore, but it's going to be the current content of display pointer. Okay, display pointer and display pointer. Okay, so let us go back here at line number 44. So at line number 44, we have declared again another pointer, and again it keeps track of which list we are currently in. And initially we give an initial value of head. It means that we want to display the whatever the content of the list head is. That will be the first output. And so this is the loop that will display all the three lists that we have. So again, we are trying to test if display pointer is null. If it's null, the loop will stop. So again, the initial value of display pointer is over here, head. So we are going to display whatever the content is. Okay, so whatever the content of head is, it will be displayed. So again, if we go back to the first list, to the list head, it will display first dog1, and then white, and then M as the gender. This will display head. Now, how do we go to the next list? How do we go to the second list? Of course, we need to put a value in the next member. Okay, so display pointer would be equal to display pointer and then arrow next. All right. So I guess it's fine. So again, initially the content of display pointer is head. So whatever the content of head is, it will be displayed first. And then how do we go to the next list? We change the value of display pointer. So display pointer would be equal to display pointer and then next. Now what will be the content of display pointer arrow next? In the second list, okay, in the second list, it will be my dog. So whatever the content of this list is. Okay, this my dog refers to the new content of this instance of my dog. Okay, and so that will be the second one. Now, after we're done with the second list, so this will be display. So display pointer, imagine that this is display pointer is equal to this one. Okay, now how do we go to the next value, to the third list? So previously, the value of display pointer was this one. Okay, now we have to change this. Okay, so we have to change this into, again, this one. All right, so display pointer would be equal to display pointer arrow next. So it's like putting another next. Okay, so this one over here will now be referring to the third list here. Okay, to this third list over here. And so it's going to display the third list. And so at the third list, after we display the third list, if you notice, next here will have a value of, here, the third list, it will have a value of null. So the while loop will now be will now stop looping once it encounters the null value. So let me show you how it's done. Let me show you the output. Sorry, it has error. Okay, I think I have forgotten a curly bracket. I'm sorry. So let me put another curly bracket here. I forgot to close it, so let me run this again. All right, so the output doesn't look that pretty, but I think you get the concept. So this is the first output. This is the first list over here. And then we display, after we display the first list, we display the second list, which is here. And finally, we display the third list. Okay, so I hope you learned something here. Now, again, what we discussed so far is a very simple code that enables the programmer to show a linked list that has 3 lists. Okay, now of course we don't want to have this code if we want to, let's say, display a linked list that has 100 lists or 100 nodes. Okay, so we don't want this code to be used if that's the case. It will be a very long code.